What's up, everybody? You're listening to another episode of the SignatureCAST, where we talk bodybuilding, business, and everything in between. Happy New Year. I am your host, William Blazeski, and to my right, one of our best trainers here at Signature Fitness, Josh Maslag. We are going to cover everything New Year, fitness, and what you have to do to get in the best shape of your life and have a positive mindset. How's the new year starting off for you so far?
It's not bad. It's going pretty well. Busy as always.
As you can tell, I probably snorted a couple lines or a little too much caffeine before this, but we're ready to go.
Very hyped.
Very hyped. It's the first podcast of the year. You're a little chilly, a little cold. We got to warm you up in here.
Yeah, it's freezing in here.
No, it's good. It's good. So for real, it's the new year. New plans, new things you're trying to do physically, mentally? How are you preparing yourself with the craziness of the world?
The one fitness thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to work out every day. 7 days a week. And you would think that would be easy for me, but actually it's very hard.
Really?
Yeah, because like I have clients all different hours of the day, and I have like a few other projects I'm working on, and so it's tough. So I try to work out 4 days a week, but one of my New Year's resolutions is to actually work out, do something, stretching, mobility work, something.
So being active 7 days a week.
Being active, conditioned 7 days a week. Like I'm trying to do a lot of cardio. That's actually like a big thing for me. Like I usually don't do a lot of cardio. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things.
Nice.
What about you?
Well, so as we talked before, the last time, so I went to the Olympia in August, and that was awesome. That was super like motivating. And obviously I do powerlifting, strongman, but like walking around at 400 plus pounds is not the healthiest thing. So since then, I've dropped 50 pounds. So I'm now like, thank you. I was at 406. Now I'm around 456, 450. I'm fluctuating. Hit a little bit of a plateau. But so the goal is to hit a bodybuilding stage. So now the world knows.
Oh, really?
The goal is to hit a bodybuilding stage at the age of 30. Okay. So I'm 28 now this past September.
Okay.
And I'm hoping to step on the stage.
That's very
cool.
My
30th year. Yeah.
Very nice.
So I got to probably chip down to about 285, 90, and then I'll see where, everything's kind of at. Yeah. And so
what class or division?
It would just be open bodybuilding.
Okay.
Because I'm 6'2". There's no way I could. I think the weight cut for classic at 6'2" is like 265. And like I think me at 265 physically is like not possible. Mm-hmm. Like I even if I was ripped to the bone, I just think like the amount of muscle and just like bone structure and organs and everything, it's not going to get there. So yeah, so that's part of my New Year's goal is just to get back on track and be healthier.
What's your split going to look like? So
interestingly enough, I'm kind of carrying over a little bit of what I used to do in strongman, where I used to only train 3 like heavy days a week. Mm-hmm. There was a 4th day that was more like mobility recovery, and then everything else is just cardio sessions. Because at least for me, I'm realizing that if I'm coming in here, unlike you, like 7 days or trying to stay, I mean, I'm still active, but if I'm in the gym like 5-6 days a week, my body's just not recovering. Especially if I want to lift at the intensity that I want to lift at.
Right.
So it just takes me a while to, be not hurting.
What does the volume look like though?
So volume, I mean, let's take, everyone loves to talk about leg day. So let's take a leg day, for example. We're doing, let me think, like 30 to 40 working sets. Mm-hmm. So it's like a pretty high volume, I would say. And with it, if we're talking powerlifting wise, with like each set's like an RPE of like, at the end of the set, you're hitting an RPE of 10, like every set.
Okay.
We're going to failure all the time.
Yeah.
I'm just in that kind of a little bit of that, like, let's shock the body phase.
Yeah. You know? So are you trying to keep like a little bit of that powerlifting background in there?
Yeah. I'm not taking out the compound lifts. I don't think.
No, I mean like trying to keep it pretty heavy.
Yeah. Oh, lifts. Yeah, right. Definitely. So like for my squats, my benches, I haven't been deadlifting. Okay. My back's been a little iffy, right. But I'll still do heavy rows and stuff like that. But I'm definitely still trying to hit the poundage because I'm a firm believer if you don't stimulate your central nervous system and your muscles to grow, no matter how much hypertrophy work you do, it's not going to have as much effect.
Yeah.
So so for me, that the plan is just to keep chipping down.
Okay.
And I'm hoping we're in January. By July, I want to be sub 300, which I think is definitely possible.
Yeah.
For sure. I've been averaging about 10 pounds a month.
Okay.
So,
wow.
Which is
very nice.
Pretty aggressive, but I'm also very aggressive with my diet and all that stuff. So
yeah. So what does your diet look like?
So diet right now, I do 5 days of 20 grams of carbs or less. Sometimes I hit 30 to 40.
You don't get tired?
No. I've been good. I keep my fats pretty high.
Okay.
So that's pretty good. And then after that, what I'll do is on the 6th day, I'll have a very high carb day, like 600-700 grams of carbs. And I'll fully restore my glycogen stores. And then on Sunday,
it's like carb cycle.
Yeah, it's a carb cycle, essentially.
Got it.
And then that's the day that I'll have my heaviest workouts. Usually I'll do either I'm doing back day or leg day. I don't like to keep the splits the same every week. So usually every couple of weeks it changes.
Okay.
But I'll have that heavy day at the end of the week, and that'll, I'll refuel. I'll wake up the next morning and my waist feels tighter and my muscles feel fuller, which is also a great feeling.
How much protein? Like how many grams?
Oh, just simple. I'm just doing like the 1 gram to 1.5 grams per pound of body weight.
Okay. So
350 to 400 grams of protein. But you see my meals, it's just like chicken, chicken.
I'm eating like 260 or like 240, 260. That's a lot of.
Well, I will say that
400 grams of protein is aggressive.
A lot of the times most days there is some form of a protein shake in there, so that helps a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing like a single serving protein shake. It's like a 4 serving protein shake.
Yeah, I do like 2 protein shakes, 2 scoops each.
Yeah. So
whey isolate. So
what I've been into a lot lately is the beef isolate.
The beef?
Yeah, because it doesn't mess with me at all. If I do
whey does?
Whey isolate, sometimes it doesn't bother me as much. But beef protein, it's the best for me.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
I've tried the beef before. I'm not the biggest fan.
No.
Some of the data shows it's not actually absorbed that well.
Oh, great.
But
well, there we go.
But I mean, it's data, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's always the case. But I would say if it's absorbing well, then meaning like you have no GI distress or anything.
No, well that's my number one thing is I used to take in a lot of dairy. I used to do lots of certain greens, like lots of broccoli. I used to do lots of spinach. Both of those don't work too well for me. The simplest things that work for me in terms of greens are like asparagus. I know cucumbers aren't much of a green, but cucumbers, I try to stay away, but green beans, like string beans,
okay,
they don't bother me at all, but they're a little higher in natural sugars.
So how do you know something's bothering you?
So the first thing I'll do is, like, for example, like whenever, and this is just a tip to anybody, once you start your diet, like pay attention to how you feel the next 2 hours. So if I'm having, for example, when I used to do, like when I had a more regular diet where we had like carbs every meal, this is years ago. The last time I got down to 275, like a bodybuilding diet, exactly. You got your cup of rice, your 8 to 12 ounces of protein, and your like half a cup of veggies, whatever it is. I would start my morning with oatmeal, and I noticed the first thing is I'd have the oatmeal, and it was like it just felt like it was okay, but it would take a while to digest. But it was fine, not much distress. My coach at the time was like, I want you to start doing brown rice in the morning with your eggs. I'm like, okay. And it wouldn't go anywhere.
Really?
It would like sit in my stomach for like 4 hours and I wouldn't be hungry at all. And it literally felt like I had a brick in me.
Yeah.
And then we tried. So like,
you ever get nauseous?
All the time.
Like a very mild
like you just feel that little bit.
Yeah. That happens to me with wheat. With some wheat products, not every wheat product, but some wheat products. It's not like gluten or anything, I don't think. It's just like a general allergy to whatever that product is. And then I'll get this very mild nauseousness.
Yeah.
And it's strange. And
it's not that you ate a lot of food either.
No, it's not that type of nauseousness. And then I would switch the meal, whatever it was, maybe a white rice or some other form of starchy carb, and then it would go away, and it wouldn't happen to me.
That's what I was going to get at. Is the first thing we did is he's like, well, let's try some white rice. He liked jasmine rice. Now I'm obsessed with jasmine rice now, but it was like I took it in, and within a half hour, I felt like I was good to go. I was energized. It didn't bother me at all.
Basmati rice is the best.
Is it?
Yeah.
I haven't tried that one yet.
Notice the way I said it?
Yeah, basmati.
That's actually the way you're.
Is that the way you're supposed to say it? Where's that from though?
What?
What region is basmati?
It's Indian.
Oh, okay. Maybe you'll hear that story some other time.
Yeah. I messed that up, and I never heard the end.
Oh, okay. Nice. But yeah, so that's how I figure out what works for me. It's just trial and error. That's all it is. I know now that if I take in a lot of dairy, my girlfriend won't be happy with me when we're sleeping. Lots of noises and all that type of stuff. But it's just trial and error. I mean, the same thing I do with my training is what I do with my diet. And you kind of mentioned something earlier, which I want to touch on. Is they're like, oh, you were saying there was a study that showed the beef isolate.
Yeah.
And I am all for like doing the research, but I am a believer though in, and we've talked about this, just because the research says one thing doesn't mean it responds with your body a different way.
For sure. That's why they do meta-analyses.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if there's a meta-analysis on beef protein isolate, but a meta-analysis is for anybody who doesn't know, it's like basically like a conglomerate of all different research, and then you take that research and then you summarize it. So that's why. So a meta-analysis is like the gold standard. So if there's like one or two research papers or something saying one thing, it doesn't necessarily mean it's true.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and like I said, that's how I've always, I think, approached everything.
Yeah.
Is just being, try it out, see how it works. Like I said, even with training, I know some people who, will go to the gym, and you've seen I've been training with Sean every once in a while. I'm very lucky to do that. Now, him and I are built completely differently.
Right.
There are some machines that we're both like, wow, that hits fantastic. Other ones, I'm like, I hate this thing. And he'll swear it's like the best chest press ever.
Yeah, everybody's different.
We're built we're all built so differently.
Everybody has different biomechanics. Their limb length is different.
Everything.
And then so the muscle action is going to be slightly different. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even you look at that with deadlifts, in powerlifting, some people are just phenomenal because they have long levers and their arms are, scraping the ground and that type of stuff.
Yeah. Or when they bench, it's like 2 inches.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the new year, as we said. You're doing 7 days a week. I'm chipping my way down. But we are bodybuilding, business, and everything in between. We'll get to the in between at the end. So the business, what are you doing in terms of, if you don't mind, your finances? How are you trying to set yourself up for this next year? What are you doing? What's the smart moves you're making?
Yeah, I have a few financial goals. Just like general stuff, like trying to save. I have a specific number in mind. Trying to like pay off a little bit of debt, student loan debt, trying to do that kind of stuff. Also, I'm looking into ways to like reinvest into possibly a master's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the next but it's probably going to be longer than a year, I'm thinking, or towards the end of the year. Not in fitness and something else. But yeah, so just like different ways to reinvest. Stock market's not doing very well right now. Neither is crypto.
Yeah.
So I'm just.
He just showed me before everything was down. I was like, ooh,
it's a disaster. So I'm just saving, and I'm just trying to hit that specific number, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely taking a similar approach. I think all of the financial advisors out there have said, well, they never teach you anything in school, which is so true.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to do those small steps, at least 10% of my pay I'm trying to put away.
Right.
And I have a number I'm trying to save, whether it's to then reinvest into a home or a property or something. I don't know what my move is, obviously, from a financial perspective, but I think in general, any advice for anybody out there is just stop living beyond your means.
Yeah, for sure.
And my father, I think, put it the best way I ever heard it. It rolls off the tongue in his language a little bit better, but if you stretch your feet further than the blanket reaches, your feet will get cold.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've always loved that quote because
The Wall Street Journal, I guess, published or posted an article talking about how ever since COVID, Americans have become like aggressive savers. And so I guess that woke people up. And so now people aren't going out as much. They're not eating out as much.
It's interesting
because saving really aggressively.
Maybe a year and a half ago was the exact opposite.
Yeah, for sure. People were spending their money like crazy.
Checks. They were like, let's buy everything. And now all of a sudden they're like, whoa.
Yeah, for sure.
Pump the brakes.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's put some money in the bank. Which is, I mean, I think that's good overall. But right now, we're obviously the market, everything's taking a hit because people are very scared. With their money.
For sure. And there's a bunch of different factors.
There's so many.
We're not going to go into.
No, we could be here for 5 hours talking about the factors.
Yeah, but all these factors are making people scared. And, and they're saving their money.
But like I said, just to go back to it, the simplest thing is stop buying stuff that you don't need.
Yeah.
Stop, especially if you're not in the place. Like, trust me, if I was a millionaire, I'd probably be like, I'd have 1 million watches and, a bunch of pairs of sneakers and be doing whatever. But, I can afford a little this every few months. Okay, cool. That's it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure you have some friends. It's every weekend still.
Yeah. I know.
Going out.
I know some people.
Blowing some money.
Yeah, for sure. I was one of those people though. And then
thankfully I never was.
Yeah. And then, you
settle down.
Yeah, you grow up.
And you grow up. Exactly. How are you old now? How are you now, Josh?
27.
27. Oh, so we're just a year apart.
Yeah, that's
and it's crazy. I don't know how do you feel? Do you feel like you're getting old?
Yes and no. At times I feel like I don't age. My girlfriend tells me that. So that makes me very happy.
That's a great compliment to get.
Yeah, she's like, she'll look at pictures of me back when I was like in high school.
Plus if you were to shave right now,
she's like, dude, you don't age. And then so that's fucking amazing.
That's great.
And then the other thing is, yes, I mean it sucks. I don't like to get older. I have goals in mind, like professional goals and everything that I haven't reached yet. I'm changing some of them, but it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it.
No, of course. I definitely feel the exact same way. And that's why, like we talked about earlier, I'm changing my training style and all that stuff. But, I like you remember like a week ago, my beard was like here.
Well, let me ask
shaving
you.
that like made me feel younger.
What are some professional goals you have?
So professional goals that I have. So
like maybe certifications, education.
Okay.
Or even signature. Like what kind of ideas do you have that
So we thankfully we just got our budgeting for this year. And so we're going to be making a lot of improvements, whether it's new equipment changes, physical plant changes and stuff like that. So in terms of signature, I think our main goal is to take what's so great already and diversify and make it even better. So if you noticed, I've been on this mission. Sean's been helping me. We're trying to acquire these rare, like antique or just super rare pieces of equipment that you can't get anymore. And that's what, has always put us above the others is we have every piece of equipment you can think of. But now it's those.
Yeah, you guys are like on a hunt.
Yes.
To try to find like the best pieces of equipment.
Those little gems that nobody, and people look at them and be like, oh, that's an old piece of equipment. And then they get on there and they're like, oh,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
very cool.
That's kind of what I'm excited about in terms of what we're developing here. And otherwise, it's just for signature, it's just growing. We're growing our clothing, growing our brand, getting the name out there. Obviously, with Sean and a lot of the athletes, like Justin and other pro bodybuilders here, Akeem. We have some female bodybuilders coming in, which is great.
Yeah.
And it's just growing that brand and the awareness. I said it once in a video, but I feel like we are the, Bev Francis is the East Coast Mecca. But we're the like New Jersey Mecca of bodybuilding. You know what I mean?
We're better than that.
I mean, I'm just trying to be polite.
We're the new East Coast Mecca.
You're going to get me in trouble, Josh. You're going to get me in trouble. But, something along those lines. We're trying to think of a good catchphrase because we really do offer.
I mean, we're growing so fast.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
It really is. You go on the floor last night, I couldn't.
Other gyms are just not growing.
They're not. Well, they're just not. And we're, we'll put this out into the universe in a positive manner. We may even possibly open up a second location someday. You know, there's talks of that, and trying to just grow the brand. You know, eventually that's what every business wants to do. They want to outgrow themselves and continue. So that's it for Signature. I mean,
it's a really cool brand. It's got like the perfect balance of like hardcore and also like the general fitness enthusiast.
Well, we just got the first. I got to show you. We got the first cut of our promotional video. We're doing a promotional video for the gym,
right?
And it really captures that well. As you know, we have Mr. Olympia who trains here, but then you have mom and pop or people on their weight loss journey, like your client.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool, you know. I think what sets us apart though, and when I say this in meetings, like obviously we have our business meetings and stuff like that, you know, they kind of give me a look like, "Wah," you know, but we have attitude here.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing.
No.
Like, I mean, it can be frustrating at times, but everyone here's got just a whole boatload of attitude, whether it's good or bad, but it brings energy into the place. It brings life into the place, you know?
Yeah, it does.
You know, you could go into any box, you know, or corporate fitness facility and like they're good, you know?
it doesn't have the same.
But it's not the same feel.
Not the same, no.
You know, I went into, I won't name the type of gym.
Well, people are like very competitive here.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So I went into another gym,
and it's like
local,
self-motivated too. It's not like yeah, people compare themselves to other people, but in this place, it's like everybody's just laser focused.
Yes,
and then they're just like trying to outperform themselves, and so you get like that really like rugged, aggressive style, which is cool. And then, but it doesn't intimidate other people. I don't think. Other people don't find it as like intrusive. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, some people are
like they're inspired by it. Almost,
yeah, some people will always be like, "Oh my god," but like the majority will be like, "Oh man, that guy's freaking killing it."
Yeah,
like you know, when anybody works out, whether it's a bodybuilder or whoever. But I was saying earlier, I went to another gym. There's one in the area that everyone's been to, and a big corporate gym. It was nice to get away, not gonna lie, because now everyone was like, "Hey, Will, what's up?" Or like, "Oh, I need you to come do this." But it was like, I mean, like I said, I'm 6'2" and 350. You know, I got a little love in the middle, but I'm a relatively presence type person. Like when I walk in a room, and I'm in LA Fitness, and and I'm walking around, and it was just like. I'm gonna sound really vain and horrible here, but I felt like a giant among men.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm walking around and I'm like, but it wasn't as much as me physically.
Yeah, people don't know how to train there.
It was the mentality of everyone there.
Yeah.
You know, because there's people here that are half my size that I'm like, wow, like they're freaking killing it. And over there, everyone was just kind of like, doing their thing. Here, you walk in. There's not a time of day that you don't walk in here and you don't see somebody pouring sweat or just grunting or just straining to finish the last rep. That's what's so cool about us, you know.
Yeah, it's very cool.
You know,
very cool.
But so you've trained at, I'm sure, other facilities and whatever.
No, actually,
no. Oh wait, you've been here.
I started here since I was 19.
Wow, you've never joined another gym.
Nope.
Wow.
No, I mean, there were people who reached out to me over the years, but I never went through with it because I was like part-time, full-time, part-time, full-time. You know, I have other things.
So how many years now?
It's all going on 8.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's
I started
crazy.
when I was 19. Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
That's nuts.
I think it's an amazing experience because, I kind of make my own schedule, book my own clients, sales helps me out with that. We all work together. But, so it was probably one of the best things that's ever happened to me because when I was younger, I was very introverted, didn't really want to talk to people. And then, when I started here, I was like, I either have to get good at this or I'm not going to make it. Like, I'm not going to do very well.
Well, especially as a personal trainer.
Yeah. So I'm like, I had to like force myself, like you have to get very good at this fast. And so, there was a lot of growth that went with that.
That's good though. I mean, even me, I've been
How
here
many years
now.
for you?
I think it's at least 3.5. We're approaching the 4 mark eventually. Obviously I took a little bit of a different route in terms of, what I've done here, but I did the personal training thing for a while and all that stuff. But, this place will change you in so many good ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even as just a member. You see what real training is.
Yeah.
You see what not to sound cheesy, you see what actual customer service is.
Yeah, right.
You see what,
good relationships.
Walking into a place and you're like, you know how many people, and I'm going to apologize to anyone in this audience who actually is this person. You know how many people, hey, Will, how are you? And I feel horrible. I don't know their name. I know their face every day of the week.
Yeah.
But so many people. Me too. It's great, though.
Yeah.
You can't walk into another gym unless it's a similar like family feel and be like, hey, what's up? Like, it doesn't happen.
No.
And that's what's great.
Yeah.
But going back to what you said earlier, because I didn't forget, my personal, business or goals in terms of that, I definitely need to diversify my training portfolio a little bit. I want to get certified in Olympic lifting. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I also I want to dive a little deeper into the nutrition and supplementation part of it.
Well, they have a very cool certification, the CISSN.
Which one's that? Who's that from? Is that NSCA or no?
No, International Sports Nutrition, Sports Science Nutrition Certification, something like that.
ISSA?
I'll send it to you. No, it's not ISSA.
Oh, no? Send it to me.
Yeah, it's like a real sports certification. Very cool because they go into like the science, the molecular structure of like carbs, fats, protein.
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's really cool. And then you have to learn all the different position stands from that organization. So you have to like scrub through the data and all. It's actually very cool stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, but that's it for me in terms of just personal development. And then future goals, we talked about this the other day. I'm not a big believer in higher levels of education unless it's necessary.
Yeah, for sure.
I think so many people fall into, and I've seen...
You're going to piss a lot of people off.
That's fine. I've seen so many of my friends go to school, stay in school, go to grad school, and then go, like, they're doing like 8 years straight, whatever it may be. Right. And then they come out of school, they have no business experience.
Yeah.
They have no idea what the real world is like. And unless they're in a specified field, like let's say you're going for, like, for example, one person who worked out great was a friend of mine from UMass. She became a veterinarian. I get it. She did her undergrad, I think in bio or chem.
A lot of debt.
A lot of debt.
Yeah.
But at least at the end, she accomplished the goal. She has the job and she's working it off.
Yeah.
But people go to school for.
Well, grad school is interesting because grad school is supposed to be like professional development. So you either go to grad school to enter into a field, or you go to grad school to further your marketability and further your. But
I feel like a lot of those, like, I'm trying to think, like, let's say communications, right?
Right.
I don't think you need to go to get your master's in communications.
No, unless it's necessary.
Unless it's necessary
to like go to the next level or something.
I mean, we're also talking about the whole investment side of it too. I'm sitting here with lots of college debt, and we'll just leave it at lots of college debt.
Yeah,
I could buy a home with my college debt.
Oh, jeez.
So, do I? And that's just for my undergrad. Right. So, do I think it helped me in the workplace? To an extent, yes. With just the knowledge I've learned in terms of, because I did public health and obviously kinesiology. How to work out, the public health side, more of treating the person as an individual, that type of stuff.
It's like the macro level too.
Exactly. But in reality, I'm so glad, because for a while I contemplated getting my master's in either kinesiology or public health, like finishing in one of those avenues. I just would have been in more debt.
Yeah.
And you hear all these people nowadays. It's
probably
like,
not necessary.
And everyone loves. I mean, I think he goes a little too far, but the Gary V, like, why even go to college? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the other extreme. Like, I don't know. Extremes don't really interest me. It's like the truth is usually somewhere in the middle.
Yes,
that's what they say.
I think it also depends on why you're making your investment. So,
like for me, if I were to go to grad school, it would be to either, like I said, enter into a field or further my professional career. That's it. I would do it part-time.
I would get an MBA just because I want to.
Yeah, so an MBA is a great example.
Be great at a business and all this stuff. So.
Right, but the MBA is interesting. Like we talked about the other day, you have to like time it correctly. If you do an MBA right out of school, it
makes no sense.
It's probably not going to help you because you're going into an entry level position.
Exactly.
You do an MBA 5 to 10 years into your career, that could be the difference between getting a middle management or upper management job.
Exactly.
So middle management might promote you up to that position, but then the MBA is going to differentiate you, and then you're going to go into upper management.
Exactly.
So that's where grad school really shines, but people mistake it.
Yeah. And back, like I said, to the investment side of it, I think there's been a big, and we're not going to get political because I try not to ever get political on our podcast, but obviously people talk about forgiving student debt and all that stuff. And I was just on the same boat because I'm in such a hole. I'm like, oh my God, I don't just take it away.
Right,
but then once you work long enough, you're like, you know what? I made the decision to personally take this loan and make this investment. Now,
that's also maturity too.
That's also a maturity thing. And I think I also I wish my mother and father had been a little bit like, why don't you just go to the community college route or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I probably could have learned a similar amount of stuff.
Most parents don't know.
I mean, they don't know. They want, especially now we're moving into I think the generation of like our parents' generation where it was you have to tell your kids to go to college and that's kind of changing.
It's changing, but it's going back to that investment idea.
Yeah.
It's like, do you really want to invest in this specific major or career path or whatever? Like, what's the potential income? What's the potential drawbacks? How many hours are you going to be working per week once you get into that field? Because a lot of people, they enter into a field and they don't realize they could be putting 60 to 100 hours a week.
Yeah.
And, we're talking just bachelors. So
exactly.
some fields are like that. So, you have to just look at the all the information and make the decision yourself.
Then that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Think about what you're doing. And if there's anyone who's
fitness is like that.
Fitness is 100% like that. And if you're a young individual listening to this, sit down with your parents or sit down with your significant other and really think over or look at the entire commitment.
Right.
Let's take, you just said fitness is a perfect example. I know there's a huge trend of people who want to be I don't want to call them wannabe bodybuilders, who want to be a bodybuilder. Right. I'll say it in a polite way.
Yeah.
And they think they're going to get there in like 3 years.
Right. Or the argument where I don't want to get too big. You hear that a lot.
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't want to get too big.
Guys that are first starting, I don't want to get too big.
And I'm like, listen, you say that now.
That's never going to happen.
You're never going to get too big.
First of all, you're never going to get like mass monster, Mr. Olympia. You're probably
unless you're taking all the drugs in the world.
Yeah. Well, even so, some people,
if you don't have the work ethic, genetics, everything.
Yeah, the drive to do that, right?
Exactly.
Because you throw off a 2% difference. That's the difference between like maybe, I want to say like, people might rip me to shreds over this, but like 5 to 10 pounds of muscle, right?
Yeah.
Just like a small percentage point can throw everything off. So you're not going to get too big.
No.
But it's interesting though, people, but also people don't look at the programming. They don't look at the volume. They don't look at how long is this workout going to take? Is there conditioning with it? What am I really doing this for?
Exactly. So. Well, and we're
a little bit of a rant.
We're in the new year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So how many of these people, whether it's men or women, are like, I'm gonna be this, and it's like, hold on, let's take a small step forward.
Right. Exactly.
Like for me,
small
actions make a big difference over time.
Absolutely.
Big actions end up failing. Mm-hmm. So when I was at that Olympia and it was like this grand stage, like, look, I was real with myself. I'm like, I will 99.9% never be on this stage. Mm-hmm. But for myself, if I can step on a stage, I'd be very proud of what I accomplished.
Yeah.
With a relatively decent package, in terms of your conditioning, your muscle maturity, all that stuff. But the first thing that I thought of is okay, I'm not going to change my training. I'm not going to change anything. You know what? The first thing I finally took control of was my sleep. I said, I'm going to sleep good. I got my CPAP. I've been using it. Good. I feel great. The second step, the second step was let's just lower the carbs, not take them out. Let's lower them.
Yeah.
And then now I'm at like where I'm carb cycling but we're talking, 5 months in, 4 months in, whatever it may be. But you mentioned something earlier, and I think this is a key factor with anyone trying to accomplish something. Or you said, you could go into an industry and not realize you're going to work 60, 70 hours a week, right? 80, 100, whatever it may be. And that is, are you a high performance individual?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Are you willing to do that?
Yeah.
Are you gonna not sleep, commit the next 15 to 20 years to your life to then either potentially continue doing it or then pull back?
Right.
And that's the thing that's separating, whether it's fitness with these Mr. Olympia and Miss Olympia,
right,
or whether it's these businessmen who are 40 and are have 500 million in the bank,
right, but yet they worked 100-hour weeks
for the first 20 years. Exactly.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I think you're one of those people. You're partially one of those people.
Oh yeah.
I could see it. Yeah. I could definitely see it.
I have no problem working like 70 plus hours a week.
It definitely
doesn't feel, for me, like, when I was working here, I was booking all my clients, going to school, either full-time or part-time, whatever it was. I had to, I was taking difficult classes. I was taking physics, medical terminology, cell biology, all that stuff. Even when I was in undergrad, it was like, all the kinesiology classes. I was still, my schedule was jam-packed, but it didn't feel like work. It's like you go to the one thing and you just laser focus, you're really into it, and then the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. And then it's just, you feel accomplished, you feel good about yourself. But but some people aren't like that. Some people want their leisure time, they want to relax, they want to chill. I don't understand that, but there are people out there who do want that, and all the power to you.
I think I find myself directly in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm going to commit myself 150%.
Well, this is something, just not to cut you off, but do you think you're progression focused or outcome focused?
What's outcome focused mean?
So meaning you're focused.
Outcome. I thought you said something else.
No,
Am I progression focused or outcome focused?
So you're focused on the outcome, 100% focused, or are you like more interested in the
progression of it?
In the day-to-day progression of things?
I'm very outcome focused.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So
I'm trying to figure that out.
I'm very outcome focused, but to a fault sometimes. I think we're going to take a very random example, but this is just like a very small micro situation of how I do things, and you'll know exactly what I'm saying. I was giving a gift to someone for Christmas, and I needed to print it out. It was this big photo. I need to find the frame and all this stuff, right? I sat in Kinko's for an hour and a half with the guy to make sure it was immaculate. And then when he printed it, it was wrong. So I reprinted it again. And then I went to the store and I got the frame and I did all this stuff. And then I get home and now we're like 5 minutes to leaving where I have to give him the guy. And I'm like, but I need to put the plaque inside. Yeah. And like Steph, my girlfriend, will look at me and she'll be like, it's okay for it to. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, I need it to be perfect.
Well, it's great trait to have.
But it can be bad. Like, when we were opening our strength conditioning center here, I was doing those 60, 70 hour weeks because it was just like, we're gonna open it. It has to be perfect, and everything was fine. There's some things that they still bug me that are not the way I want them to exactly be. But in that 1 month period where it was like the ball was rolling, you remember, I was just like, we got to be there. We got to be there all the time,
Right.
And so that's how I approach things. Usually it's, and unfortunately sometimes I can become a procrastinator. Let's be real. But if let's say I have to,
like that, though. We all have periods like that.
Yeah. If I have to create something, I'll just get like super hyper focused into it. And then, it'll be for like I'm talking about sometimes even if it's like for like 6 hours, like a short period thing, and I'd rather cram it all in and super and shut the world out,
right?
Because I know that I have control over the outcome versus, I'll do a little bit today, I'll do a little bit tomorrow. Yeah. I can't do that.
Yeah,
because once I start it, I want to finish it.
Oh, for sure.
Do you seem to be like that, or are you a little more like it's okay for you to take the baby steps?
It's so crazy. I'm trying to figure that out myself, actually.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out like, am I progression focused where I'm like, okay, just as long as I perfect the day to day, that will lead to the outcome, whatever that outcome is, Or am I so focused on the outcome that leads me to perfect every single day? It's like I'm trying to figure it out. But there's like this idea going around where you're one or the other. But
I think you could be a little bit of both.
You could probably be a little bit of both, right?
Well, just like we said earlier, it's trying to. We were talking about the extremes of don't go to college, go to college. It usually falls in the middle.
Absolutely.
But you definitely tend to be more of one or the other. I would say. But I think that also goes to. I don't remember who it was. It's someone in the fitness industry. They talk about his term is like grand goals all the time. But it's the big picture, and
it's your vision too.
Yes, huge. Well, like when I speak with Sean, he's very, he is very, he's outcome 100%.
Yeah,
but.
I think you have to be for that, though.
Yeah, but it's outcome 100% with a 10-year progression underneath it. Yeah. Like his 100% outcome is when he eats his meal and is driving to the gym. There's nothing else in the world that's going to affect
his meal,
his meal and his workout.
Yeah,
like to the point where it's weird. Like we were driving to the gym one day, and he's sitting in the seat, silent, not like just. Not even on his phone. Yeah. He's just, and I know what he's doing. He's literally going through, because I've asked him. He's like, I'm thinking about what my first workout's going to be, what the second exercise is going to be, how many sets, how many reps. I'm going to feel it out, blah, 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 all that type of stuff. And he's going through this Rolodex in his head. Shout out to anyone who knows what a Rolodex is. And he's just figuring out what he's going to do so that he just is completely outcome focused for that 2-hour period in the gym.
Right.
And then he's got the background of like, this is the year plan and, macro, microcycle, all that stuff.
I think it's like 80-20. I think you have to be 80% progression and 20% outcome. And not saying that one is more important than the other, but you have that vision in front of you. And then you have to be like, you have to chip away at that vision, day in and day out, right?
Yeah.
But you need both.
Yeah, definitely. Well, for anybody listening, because that's the clip I'm going to use on our Instagram, let us know what your outcome and your vision is for 2022 and stay focused and be progressive.
Yeah.
Right? So we've covered the bodybuilding a little bit, the fitness, the business, and now we're going to talk a little about the in-between. Because someone got struck by Cupid's arrow this year. So new relationship.
Oh man, we're talking about this?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I've been for 4 years now, me.
Yeah.
And you just said your girlfriend thinks that you are never aging.
Yeah, great.
It's fantastic. I wish I got that compliment.
It's awesome.
I shaved my beard off and she's like, "Oh, you look a little younger, but you still look 40." I'm like, "Oh, great."
Jeez. That's terrible.
Some people
think I'm in my mid-30s sometimes.
I could see, but you also carry yourself well.
I don't know. I don't see it,
You're just a very...
To me, I'm like still like a 15-year-old, like scared of the world.
Oh, in my head, I am 100%.
People come up to me and say like I'm intimidating. I'm like, how? Like I don't think I am.
I don't think you're intimidating.
Well,
I mean that in a nice way, though.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like in a good way.
It's strange. I know. Some people say that though, and it's like, oh, okay.
I have definitely gotten the you're like that dude's scary. I'm like the biggest teddy bear.
I think it also could be we all work together here.
Yeah, we know each other.
And we know each other, but then also like this specific gym is just so competitive, and everybody's competitive. Everybody has an ego, like in a positive way.
In a negative, it's okay. There's negative and positive, but I know what you mean. In general,
I think in general, it's a positive thing. I think you should have an ego. I think you should feel good about yourself and have pride about who you are. But and then you take us and you pluck us out of this gym, you put us somewhere else, and it's just like, oh my god.
Well, like I said, when I was at LA Fitness, same thing.
Yeah. But not just the gym. I'm saying like in life, like, like, cause we're so focused on, our, like how our fitness and where we're going and our outcome and everything that other people don't feel that way.
Well, yeah. A lot of people are very okay with being just okay, which is okay. I just said okay 4 times, but
right.
That's how they are.
Yeah.
But stop dodging the question, Josh. New relationship. We're moving back. I feel like I'm on like 10 a.m. radio or something at like 6 a.m.
Right.
But it's nice to be back into a relationship, isn't it?
Yeah. It's good.
It's good, right?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it much more than being single.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much better.
It's good to be able to depend on somebody sometimes and all that stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
you get the support, there's consistency there, and then you get all into your emotions and your feels, which is kind of nice every once in a while.
Is she a fitness person?
No.
Are you going to make her a fitness person?
I've been trying.
That's what happened with me and my girlfriend is she was like just the cardio fitness person.
Yep.
And then within a year, she did her first powerlifting meet, which was super great for me.
Right.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
But no, cool. That's great. It's good. The reason why I'm pushing Josh's buttons is just we've known each other for a good time now. So I'm just happy for the guy. You know what I mean? I'm really happy for him.
I appreciate it. But no, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. The dating world's tough now.
It's weird.
Yeah. Social media.
I'm so
apps,
happy that I found Steph when I did.
Yeah.
Because I was on the verge of the whole, like, everything's through the phone.
I mean, you guys are great. You guys never leave each other.
No, yeah,
you guys are always together. Every time I see you, she's there with you.
Yeah, we're just like, we're rock solid, and I think it's because I met her in person. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like through like a, phone social media thing.
Right,
it was a genuine just.
Yeah.
Oh, this person heard about you, whatever.
Yeah, organic.
Or very organic, very organic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was yours organic or was it a stalker? Were you stalking her, Josh?
It was Tinder, actually.
Oh no!
I know, here I am.
Cut it, ladies and gentlemen. The episode is over.
Yeah, I think
that is it.
Yeah, I think we were both using it as like just to pass time, like during quarantine.
Yeah.
And then we were just like, because everybody was on the apps, during quarantine, and nobody was going out and doing anything. So we matched, and I think we didn't really take it that serious, and we were just talking, and then we lost contact for like a month or two, and then we just started talking again, and bam, it was just like took off.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's good. Well, I'm very happy for you, Josh.
I appreciate it.
2022 is going to be a good year for everybody.
Yeah.
I think so.
I hope so.
Well, Josh, before we wrap up everything, once again, always a great time coming on to the SignatureCAST. I think we gave them some great information in terms of fitness. They definitely are going to be motivated in terms of their business and mental mind state. So you guys need to be more motivated this year.
Yeah,
get out there, get after it.
Small changes.
Small changes over a long period of time make a big, big difference.
Right, exactly.
Right?
That outcome thing.
So if you want to leave this audience with something, Josh, what would it be? New year, 2022.
Going into 2022, I would say make a few goals and just be relentless this year, and just be relentless about those goals, and just do whatever it takes to do what you want to do in life, and then extrapolate that for the next year, and then hopefully you're a much better person and you've grown a lot, as long as you're relentless and as long as you accomplish those goals.
Very well said. Mine's very simple. I think we didn't actually, here's what we need to finish with. And I'm sorry for going off. We didn't say exactly what our New Year's resolutions are.
Yeah.
Do you have one? Mine's pretty simple.
I made a list.
I only have one.
You know what's funny? I made a list. I don't even remember my list.
Wow. So you're falling into the trap of everyone's like, I'm going to do this year.
I have a planner. It's in the mail.
Okay.
I'm going to sit there. I'm going to write all of them down, because I actually do have them in my phone. I'm going to write them all down, and I'm going to review it like every day, making sure I'm getting closer and closer to accomplishing them.
Very cool. Mine's very simple. Mine's be more will.
Okay.
Be will more than ever before.
I love it.
I think so many people are afraid of taking away the character that they play.
Yeah.
What's his name? Who said that? Jim Carrey talks about that.
Oh, okay.
He was just like, when you're depressed, your body just he says, like, your body needs deep rest. It needs rest from being the character that you play to the world.
Right.
So my goal in 2022 is to be more Will than Will has ever been before.
Yep.
So whether that's physically, mentally, emotionally, being the like we said, the 15-year-old that's in our heads more often.
Yeah. Well, people love you, so that's easy.
Nah, it's good. But yeah, so my goal is to be more Will for 2022. So
great. I love it.
So it'll be good. Josh, thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is another episode of the SignatureCAST. Please stay tuned. Listen to on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Podcast, and we'll see you soon.